welcome everybody to our launch week webinar. We're in the middle of our launch. It is Wednesday, April 5th. This is our noon webinar. We have one more to go at 6 p.m. tonight. We have something very special for you guys today, and we're very excited to bring it to you. And the person that's going to bring it to you is my partner, Derek Jones. Hey, Derek, how's it going?
Good. Hey, Jeff, something's going on with your audio because you're kind of going. It's like you're almost like you're in a chamber and you're going in and out.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you. It's not going to be too bad because I'm not going to be talking that much. So.
No, that's true. All right, so I'll just take over.
All right, buddy.
How's my audio? Is my audio good?
Sound great.
For the folks on the webinar, give me a 1 if you can hear me okay. Let me see a 1. Excellent. All right. And then also give me a 1 if you can see a screen with a really handsome guy with a hat and shades and some bald-headed guy. Can you see that? Give me a 1 if you can see that. All right. Okay. Well, let's get started then. What we're here for today is to talk about My Training Centers. We're offering a comprehensive training program that's going to be balanced out with some seasoned coaching and face-to-face discussions. This is going to be different than what you are expecting or what you have seen. And so we're going to talk about how to leverage everything this program has to offer, from the training within the system, the training offered live, the coaching that you're going to receive through the Facebook group, and the collaboration that's going to be born out of this the private Facebook group. Now, we have a few goals. Probably the number one goal, from my perspective, is to help as many people as we possibly can. I've been through a number of things, and there have been people along the way that have been mentors to me, coaches to me, people that have just plain, stuck their hand out and helped out. Meant a lot, and I'm essentially reciprocating. I want to do the same. We're going to offer an incredible value. And secretly, what I'm really harboring is to become the number one spot where people will navigate on the web to get their start if they're launching a home-based business. If they're interested in e-commerce, if you're into affiliate marketing, if you're into internet marketing, or you're just struggling in some way, maybe you heard about us through the web or from a friend. I know this is a big, big goal, and it's kind of lofty, and but I'm pretty serious about it, and I think Jeff is pretty serious about it too. We're going to be growing this all grassroots. It's going to be coming up from the seat of our pants, but I think what we're offering is really unique, and I think you're going to really value it. So the one thing I want to say, if you stay until the end, we got something really special for you. As a matter of fact, we found out just about this on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you more about it later. We also have something special that is going to be for everybody, and then we also have something special for one individual on the call. But for now, I'm going to ask you to put away all your distractions, because I promise you, if you put your distractions away, put the phone away, turn the TV off, whatever it is that's keeping your attention from me, put it away, and I promise I will be very direct. I will stick right to the issues at hand. We'll get through it. We'll get you done. We'll get you the offer in front of you. And I guarantee you, you're going to find it a pretty incredible offer. Even if it's not for you, still, I will bet you that you will say, wow, that was a pretty incredible offer. So with that, what makes this different? Well, one thing that makes it different is that you've got a pair of partners, Jeff and myself, that come from very different worlds. And it actually is pretty cool because we're very different people. We've, got completely different backgrounds. Jeff basically has been an entrepreneur his entire life. He is your classic New Yorker. I love it. And myself, I've spent most of probably half my career in the corporate world and half my career as an entrepreneur. We are two different people. But what's really cool is that we talk straight to each other and it works. And also what we're going to be doing is we're going to bring you a unique mix of video training, hands-on training, coaching, and group collaboration done in a training center in a way that I am almost dead certain you've never seen before. So let's find out. We're going to be talking about your unlimited access to everything in the system. Literally everything. You're going to get face-to-face training. We're not going to be doing a monthly webinar where we bark at you and you have to try to scramble and chat questions to us, or 1 for this, 2 for that. It's going to be face-to-face training. We're going to be doing coaching through the Facebook private group, and we're going to be developing an environment where those people that are in that private group are going to learn to collaborate and cooperate together for the better interest of their businesses. So let's look at the unlimited access and what we're doing on that front. The unlimited access, right now we have started with over 30 comprehensive training programs. Now, grant you, the start is with some what I consider canned training programs. We've tried to pick the best ones we could find, but they're canned training programs, meaning that they're more developed for a general audience. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be increasing not only the volume of training programs we have in our system each and every month, but we're going to be talking to you through the live training sessions and through the coaching in the private Facebook groups to find out where exactly you are struggling in your business. And wherever those points are, we're going to be developing training to specifically address those issues. So over time, the training in this system is going to be tailored to the needs of the community that it's serving. And I haven't seen any training system out there today that does that. On top of that, as I said, right now we already cover affiliate marketing, social media marketing, list building, email marketing, video marketing, WordPress development, Shopify, internet. I mean, we've got something in there for everybody. So let's take a look. A snapshot of My Training Centers. Let's actually get a look inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to MyTrainingCenters.com. Now, we did this specific reason. MyTrainingCenters.com is a WordPress site. The technology that we use for delivering all of the training is on a platform called Everlesson, which is a membership platform. So we've integrated the two. Initially, you're not going to see, you're not going to realize that you're seeing the integration of the two. We're using WordPress to actually serve up things like the sales page and the affiliate sign-up page and so on. But in the future, you will see some of the reasons why these two are integrated together. But we use this as the jump-off spot to jump right into My Training Centers. The first time you do it, you'll actually come to a login page. I've already logged in, so it's taking you directly into My Training Centers. Now, because the training or the access that you have is unlimited, when you log in, you immediately have access to all of the training programs, and as you can see, there's quite a few. What we're in the process of doing is we're adding on average about 4 training programs per month. But we're doing this a little bit differently, and we're not just taking canned applications and throwing them in here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be interacting with you guys on a regular basis, both through a face-to-face training session per month. And even that's going to be different because it's not going to be your typical webinar where we're speaking at you and you're responding through the chat. No, we're actually going to have live video conferencing so that we can interact directly with the members that are being trained. That'll happen once a month. In addition to that, we're going to have ongoing coaching that's going to be happening through the private Facebook group. And so it's important that you get engaged, you get involved. The success of this program is really going to be on your shoulders because the more engaged, the more involved you are, the better this program is going to be. So getting to the training, what will happen is as we're working with you, if there's training in a very specific area that the group is seeking, then we'll either find that training program or we'll build that training program and we'll add it into the system so that you can get tailored training specifically to what your needs are as a business owner. So that being said, the first thing that we want you to do when you come in is to click on this news ticker at the top. What it's going to do is it's going to jump you over to our private Facebook group. If it says My Training Centers Coaching at the top, you're in the right place. If it says My Training Centers About, you're in kind of our ad center that we're using to help recruit people into the program. It's through My Training Centers Coaching that we will be engaging with you on pretty much a daily basis. It'll be where you can actually provide feedback to us, and where we can interact together as a group, and hopefully support each other as a group and help each other build our respective businesses. That's the goal. So coming back into My Training Centers, what you'll see when you enter these is, and you can see we have everything from social media income, video marketing, Facebook advertising, affiliate marketing, lead generation, list management, sales funnels, the whole works. It's all in here. What will happen is when you log into one of these, so let's say, for example, we select the social media income program. When you click into it, it'll load it up, and when you get inside, what you'll see is all the video training programs that are available to you. And so what you'll do is you'll actually work through every single one of these. Now on the side, there's some programs that we use, that we like, and so we're putting them up here. If you're interested in them, obviously you can purchase one of these. If you're not, that's fine. We're not putting anything up here that we don't use ourselves, or that we don't really like. I mean, for example, a lot of the stuff that we've done, we've actually built using Convertry. A lot of the video work we did was using VideoPal. So we don't put things in here that we don't like and that we don't use. So with that said, when you come in here, you'll be served up the programs, and what will happen is you'll kick off. Now all these are being served up off of Amazon S3, so it's pretty fast, pretty secure, I think you'll like it. Of course, we are definitely looking for your feedback. If there are programs that are not quite hitting the mark for you, then just let us know. But there is a ton of stuff in here. So, for example, in this case, this one is social media income. How to operate your Facebook Live traffic. So you kick that off, loads up the video.
Hi there, and welcome back. In this module, we'll cover optimizing your Facebook Live traffic. By the end of the video tutorial, you'll learn the necessary steps and strategies to optimize your Facebook Live, getting massive traffic.
Of course, you can take a full screen if you want to take a full screen.
Best time and date to go live, and to get things running, proper planning is necessary. First is the preparation stage, where you generate ideas on what you plan to talk about during your live stream. Well, it's good to maintain a...
And that's it. So you can see, what we want you to do is we want you to focus in on those training programs that are specific to what you're doing. There's a lot of training in here, so we don't necessarily expect that you are going to go through every training program in here and become a de facto expert on every aspect of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, list building, and the list goes on. To be successful, you have to focus. You've got to decide what it is that you want for your business, what your goals are, and then you have to focus in. Don't get distracted by all the webinars that are out there, all programs that are seem to be endlessly released. Identify what you specifically need for your business, to get the training that is specific to that, get the coaching that is specific to that, and build your business. That's how you're going to succeed. So with that, we'll stop this portion right here, and we'll move on with the webinar.
All right, great. So now you guys have a sense of what the inside. Sorry about that. What the inside looks like. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at the other aspects of what we're offering, because this is where some of the real value starts to come out. So first thing we're going to talk about is the monthly face-to-face. We're going to be doing a live video conference session with about 30 to 35 students, and it's going to vary depending on what the topic is, depending on the students that are interested. We're doing this in a different way. We're using a technology called Zoom. If you're not already familiar with it, I'd recommend that you get familiar with it. It would be very helpful in your business, more than likely. It's capable of supporting up to 50 people at a time, but we're keeping the numbers lower than that so that we don't have any issues in terms of bandwidth, for one. But more importantly, so that we're not dealing with a massive crowd when we're trying to do a live training session or interactive session with you guys. So it's going to be live, it's going to be interactive, and it's not going to be a webinar where we're barking at you like I'm doing right now, and you're scrambling the chat and ask questions over the chat. We're going to announce the topics in advance. We're going to have clear objectives for what we're going to be instructing on, and we're going to be looking for student input. On top of that, we recognize that we're not necessarily the world's experts on every subject. So what we're going to be looking for is are guest instructors that will be able to come in and present to you. So that's pretty cool. And I've not seen any training programs out there yet that do this. Then we have our private Facebook group, and even this we're going to do somewhat differently. Because in the private Facebook group, what we're really after is the peer-to-peer collaboration and cooperation. Think about it. If you've got a room full of, let's say, or a private Facebook group, let's say 500 members, okay, even 100 members, even 20 members, even 5 members. But if you've got a private Facebook group that have got members that are all small business people, that are all either struggling with some aspect of their business, or looking for ways to help their business to grow and become better, because they are engaging in training and they're engaging in these live interactive sessions and coaching. What better place to be if you're a small business person? Because you're going to be dealing with people that are also dealing with similar problems to you, and you'll be able to interact with each other. You'll be able to ask questions of each other. You'll be able to support each other. The one thing we're not going to allow you to do, though, is spam each other, because this room is going to be all about the support and the collaboration that we can provide each other to help us grow our respective businesses. And I'm even talking about ours, because I know that there are going to be members of this group that are going to have some really valuable insights in terms of their businesses and perhaps even mine. So a private Facebook group like this is fantastic if you're not just using it to ask, help desk type support questions. If you really leverage it to help you grow your business. And so the coaching we're going to be providing is going to be coaching along those lines to help you team together to get the most that you can possibly get out of a collaborative environment like this. And of course, helping you along in terms of the question or the issues that you're facing as small business people, and being able to find the focused training that's going to better enable you and better arm you to deal with the issues that you're going to face. Now, why would you want to listen to us from a coaching perspective? So let's explore that for a minute. But the first thing I want to do is I am going to get a little interactive here, because I got to get a sense of who I'm talking to. So you can read the screen. If you're doing affiliate marketing, give me a 1. If you're doing e-commerce, give me a 2. If you're doing local business, give me a 3. If you have sold into the enterprise at all, give me a 4. And if you're doing some kind of combination of these things, or maybe something else, give me a 5.
Okay, we got a 5.
Okay.
Got a 1.
Okay.
2. Some more 1s. That's where we're at. 1, 2,
Okay.
and a 5 so far.
All right. So we got a 5. So okay, good. All right. So the next thing I want to explore, though, is this concept of having a coach or mentor or guide, whatever you want to call it. So if you believe that you will perform, or people will perform better if they have a coach, give me a 1. And if you think they generally perform better operating on their own, give me a 2.
Bunch of 1s.
All right. Well, that's what I would hope to see. That's what I would think to see. Okay. All right. So let's explore that for a second. How many of you have participated in some kind of master class
I'll start with the low number that has cost you $500 or less. Give me a 1. If you participated in a master class, spent $500 or less, give me a 1. Okay?
And we got a bunch of ones coming.
Okay, how about anybody that spent, let's say, 5,000 or less? Give me a 1. Anybody?
More ones.
Okay. How about 10,000? Anybody do 10,000? Why don't you give me a 1 on that one? Is there anybody at all?
Yep, we got a one over there too.
Wow. Okay. Now, let me ask this of the whole group. How many of you participated in more than one master class? Give me a 1. If you've done more than one master class, give me a 1.
And they're coming in, my friend.
Okay. All right. So then let me ask another question. How many of you actually knew the business backgrounds of the person that was conducting the master class? Give me a 1.
No ones.
No ones. Wow. Okay. And let me ask one last question. Did you feel like you were successful? Did you accomplish what you went into the master class for? Give me a 1.
No ones.
Wow. That's a problem. So let's explore one more thing. Let's explore what qualifies a person to be a coach or a mentor or master. Now, just so you know, I look at it from this perspective. A coach is somebody that is tactically oriented. It doesn't matter how long they coach you for. I mean, it could be, for a period like the fall, or it could be an entire year. It could be a couple of years. But they're very tactically oriented. They're there for a very specific reason. Whereas the mentor is more relationship-based. A typical example of that in most corporations is where you've got senior executives that offer to volunteer as mentors to help junior executives or entry-level people learn their way through a corporation. And in a lot of environments, they have formal mentoring programs where when you can come in, you apply for it, get assigned a mentor, and then if it works out because of the way the relationship is, great. If it doesn't, they find you another mentor. That's not atypical. So let's look at this one more thing. What do you think is required to be a coach? Is it business experience? And if so, how many years does somebody have to have for you to feel comfortable for them to be a coach? And what about the level? In other words, do they, they have to have experience at the top of the rung as C-level officers in a corporation, or can they be mid-level managers? What about cross-functional experience? Meaning, have they worked in operations? Have they worked in engineering? Have they worked in marketing? Have they worked in sales? Have they ever produced a product? What about how much money they earned? Is that critical? I mean, do you need to be coached or mentored by somebody that's proven their success through earning $1 million? Or can you learn from somebody that's, maybe earned $50,000, but they happen to be talented, in a number of areas? What about the mix between entrepreneurial experience and corporate experience? And then finally, what about their education? Because what I'm getting to is that the more that you have a mix of these things, the better armed, at least from a coach perspective, the better armed that coach is going to be in terms of helping you out. If they've been successful, if they've failed and learned from their failure, if they've had cross-functional experience, if they've operated at multiple levels within an organization, all these things lend to the experience base that coach has and that coach can operate from. So I like to put up a slide that I call Numbers Don't Lie, although we do know that liars do use numbers. But I'm going to do this in a little bit different of a way. And I got this from a conference I was at a couple of weeks back. And in that conference, one of the speakers who had been highly successful, multimillionaire by the time he was in his early 20s,
still a multimillionaire today, coaches and helps a lot of people. And he put up his very first slide was his numbers. But the way he was presenting it was that his numbers were actually the year that something occurred of significance in his life. And then the year when something else of significance occurred in his life. And so those were his numbers. So what I want to do for a second is I want you guys to take a moment to take a look at my numbers. Because after I saw that, I went up to him and said, hey, I love what you've done here. I'm going to do the same thing because I've never done it. I've got to take a look at it. And, quite frankly, I was stunned because I'd never done it before. And I realized that I had 3 major epics in my life, and I'm going to show those to you. But before I do, God bless the FTC, I need to make the typical FTC disclaimer statement. My numbers are not typical. And the truth is, most people that attend webinars like these don't necessarily get great results. Really, the bottom line, guys, is it's really up to you. Your results are yours, and it's going to be based on your focus, your drive, the market. I mean, it's a lot of different things. Okay. So here are my numbers. And I cleaned this up because my original slide, and I think there's somebody on this conference that was, or on this call that was at that conference, remembers my original slide was so crowded that you could barely read it. And I actually made a joke out of it. But there are 3 major periods. The first period was when I first came out of the service as a disabled Marine veteran. I started my first company as an entrepreneur, literally out of my garage. And when I initially started it, I was getting some good business in, but there was an opportunity that came along that was huge. It was going to change my life, but I needed help, and I needed a partner. And so I ended up finding a guy that had been the CFO of a large company, and he was looking to get out, and so we hooked up. And the job we ended up landing was with a company called Todd Pipe and Supply. They're out in California, multiple locations. They're a huge plumbing supply business, at least they were. And back at that time, they were doing on average about $2 million a day in wholesale plumbing supplies, which is incredible. So we engaged in that job. Now that job was a rip and replace. They had many mainframes, and what we had to do is we had to rip all that out, replace it with a Novell network. If you ever even remember Novell, I'm kind of aging myself, and a disk array in a box called a Sanyo Icon box. It was a very large disk array. We had to go in on a Friday night, and we had to work straight through the weekend because it was 3 locations across Southern California. It was a big job, and we had to be done by 6 a.m. Monday morning. So our target was to be done by 5 because we wanted to give ourselves an hour leeway. And we literally had to work around the clock. But we also had to bring somebody in to help us because it was that big of a job. So my partner had a friend that worked at Hughes Aerospace at the time, and got him engaged, brought him in, and so we took on the job and we succeeded. And you see the result. It was awesome. But then you also see the latter part of the result, which is bankruptcy, because I learned about partnerships. And I learned about how they can be very successful, and I also learned how they can be extraordinarily painful and difficult and result in an end result that you don't necessarily want. The second epic of my life was the corporate world. I entered corporate America. I rose very quickly. I worked for a company initially called Spectra Physics. We went through all kinds of mergers and acquisitions and changes. We ended up being wholly owned by a company called Thermo Electron, which was an MIT spin out, about a $3.1 billion company. The division that we were in was called Thermal Instruments. Our group was called the Construction Instrument Group because what we produced were products for the world's mining, construction, heavy construction, engineering, survey, dredging markets, and such. And we literally sold hundreds of millions of dollars in business because some of our equipment was very, very expensive stuff. So I'm used to selling high dollar items. At the end of that, in 2000, I ended up joining one of the largest public relation firms in the kind of pure tech sector,
It was a London-based company. They had a major challenge in that they represented everybody: Microsoft, Apple, MIT Sloan. I mean, you name it, they represented them if they were in tech. Their problem is that when they would bring somebody in, they had to spin off a brand new brand because they couldn't be in the same brand with each other. So they ended up having, I think it was a total of 8 brands, but they had something like 60, 65 locations. I mean, they had locations everywhere. So what ended up happening was that they kept reinventing the wheel over and over again, and it was a real problem. It was costing them a lot of money. So my job was to come in, figure out a solution for that, and then implement it. So for 1 year, I circumnavigated the globe 4 times, I think it was, and I covered something like 55, 60 countries. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was on the road all the time. And then what ended up happening, I was very successful. I had to convince everybody in the organization that it was my way or the highway, that my way was the right way. And so I traveled everywhere and I got that done. And then 9/11 happened. And when 9/11 happened, I happened to also go through a second divorce. And at that point, I kind of threw in the towel and I left, and I ended up going into becoming an entrepreneur yet again. Then in 2002, a year into my being an entrepreneur, I learned that I had been named by Computer World as one of the top 100 CIOs or IT leaders in North America. Pretty crazy. So in the third epoch of my life, I started developing companies. The first company was E International. It was in Las Vegas. It was a financial services company. And then I moved to Boston, did some work in Boston, and then launched a company in Boston called On Demand Communications Group. On Demand was a brick and mortar IT managed services company, telecommunications company, and a cost management company for telecommunications. And we ended up closing crazy business. I mean, I had Sony Music, I had Canon, North America, Radio Frequency Systems, Alcatel. I mean, I did business with kind of almost a who's who, and I was very successful in doing it. But then what ended up happening was, we grew very, very fast. And at the end of 3 years and with just a madcap pace, we had 23 employees. We were struggling with cash flow. We needed money. We went out to find money. And to make a very painful, long story short, we found money that ended up being through a former partner of mine. The guy ended up representing or being the front for an organized crime group. They were laundering money, and we were basically their target. Lost the business. We lost $1.5 million personally. It was a disaster. And then I went into starting a virtual software company called Dataforce, and I built that up and then started selling. In fact, we built an event management system that's used by Canon today. It was up on App Exchange with Salesforce. We were going along on a clip with it, and then Salesforce comes along and tells us, guess what? You got to change your name and everything you do because Dataforce, Salesforce, it's a conflict. And at that point, I just threw in the towel because the cost and the effort to make all those changes just wasn't worth it to me, and that was it. And then last May, I started coming back to life, and I went online just like so many other people. I went online to look to see what the opportunities were, and I launched a company called Leatherneck Tech, thinking I wanted to be able to do exactly what we're talking about now. But at the time, I had no credibility, and I didn't know that because I thought I had credibility, but I learned that I didn't. I had to essentially reinvent myself. So that's me. And now let's take a look at Jeff. Jeff is a lifelong entrepreneur. He's done it his entire life. His first business, he basically built from the ground up. It was a sports talk show that he owned and produced for 15 years out of San Diego. Then Jeff went into the online marketing business, and he's been an internet marketer, an affiliate marketer. He's been into e-commerce. He's got several e-com stores. He does video marketing. He does social media marketing. I kid with him, could tell him he's my videographer, photographer, webographer par excellence. He does it all. So as you can see through that, we've done a number of things right. And we've had a number of very nice successes.
But by the same token, we've also done some things wrong, and we've had some dark things happen. But the reality is, if you're going to be coaching people, you need to understand all of that, because everybody goes through a lot of that. Not necessarily organized crime, but they do go through some pretty dark periods in their lives, and that all of those things affect your businesses. So we've experienced all that. So after 30 years combined as entrepreneurs, we take a look at things and we say, okay, you know what? Especially in today's world, you need to understand the power of being an expert, because that is what's going to allow you to sell. That's one of the things. The biggest thing is relationships. But you need to discover the power of being an expert and what it takes to do that. And you need to understand what your true value is. You've got to look inward, and you've got to really question yourself, and you've got to discover what your true value is. Because if you try to operate outside of that, okay, you're not going to succeed unless you dedicate yourself to building yourself up to achieve a new value line. Now, myself, I like to sell high-ticket stuff because I prefer to sell one thing as opposed to 25 or 30. More importantly, I've also discovered the power of recurring revenue, and you need to discover that in your business. And almost any business is capable of essentially creating a recurring revenue stream in their business. I know for me, my businesses, it pretty much covered my overhead. And if you do it right, it can do a lot more than that. And every business has a business and a business, and if you don't know what that is, then you need to take a close look at your business and figure it out, because it's going to impact you. And the most important thing is I need you to understand what your why is. What is your why? Why are you doing what it is that you're doing? Because if you don't understand what your why is, then you're not going to succeed. And then once you understand what your why is, the most important thing that you need to know or need to be able to do is focus. And all those other things I was talking about before, all of those things attack your focus. I know personally. So you have to really concentrate on your focus. Don't let shiny object syndrome affect you. Don't get distracted by other things. Keep your focus on what it is that you need to do for your business, and don't let anything else take you away from it. So now, over all that time period between the two of us, we've acquired a unbelievable collection of skills, from accounting, operations, business structures, mergers and acquisitions. I'm an expert technologist. C-level, I've held every C-level post except for CMO. 15 years as an entrepreneur for me, 15 or 30 years for Jeff. Hundreds of millions of dollars sold over the years. I'm a marketing and engineering expert. I've produced multiple products, 25 commercial software products and systems. In 97 built the first robotic, autonomous robotic machine control system for heavy construction. Very complex, involved multiple teams around the world. So take all that into context, and now let's take a review of what we're actually offering you. Because quite frankly, every time I look at this, I'm blown away, because I can't believe I'm doing this. My Training Centers, Everlesson membership platform. Everlesson, in our opinion, is the best membership/training platform on the market today. It's becoming better every single day. We're offering over 30 training applications that span internet marketing, direct mail, SEO, web development, social media management, Facebook advertising, e-commerce, traffic generation, content, and more. They're all there. We're increasing it by an average of 4 new programs per month. Maybe there'll be months where we do a little bit more, maybe some months where we do a little less, but on average about 4 is what we're targeting. But we're not just going to be dropping canned training programs in. We're going to be interacting with our group. We're going to be looking for the places where that group is struggling. We're going to be developing custom training to address those very things,
And then we're going to be supporting it through live coaching in the private Facebook group. And hopefully, out of that whole process, that group begins to collaborate together, support each other. That's the offer. And the value proposition is just unbelievable, because you get all that for less than a cup of coffee and a piece of pastry per month. I mean, I can't understand, Jeff. I mean, why don't we have people just crammed at the doors trying to get in at this?
They will be.
I know they will be, because it's only $9.99 a month. You get all that value for $9.99 or a $499 one-time payment. So with that, we've got a surprise for you. I mentioned at the very beginning, everybody on the call gets to participate in this. Our next release after this one is going to be a very special release because there's technology that I've been involved with, and there's a partnership that was developed between Leatherneck Tech, a company called Phone Mote that's owned by a buddy of mine that ran Bell Labs, and the largest cybersecurity company in the world, Checkpoint Software. And we're going to be rolling out a new app. It's the only app in the world capable of protecting your mobile devices against SS7. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's going to impact you. It's serious. It came out of the CIA. It's out in the public domain. And if criminals get their hands on this, which you can bet your bottom dollar they will, they can take control of your phone. So through the installation of a capsule app that we put on your mobile device, combined with a very sophisticated SaaS software platform for managing them all, we have a solution that will protect all your mobile devices, and it even integrates into the enterprise. So if you're with a large company, it will integrate directly in with any MDM mobile device management system out there. And what we're doing is we're going to allow everybody to participate in the 30-day free trial, and we're not even asking for your credit card. All we're asking for is your name, email address, and phone number so that we can set it up. Couple caveats. You have to be in the U.S. And I'm pretty sure I can get people from Canada included. But you cannot be outside of that. The reason is because of there's some U.S. laws dealing with technology transfer, particularly in this realm, and so that's an issue. But outside of that, you can participate for 30 days. Now, at the end of 30 days, we're going to be reaching out to you to ask for a payment of $4.99. That's it, $4.99 per device, if you want to keep it going and keep yourself secure. If not, that's cool. We'll shut it down, and we're all done. But it's a very impressive piece of technology. Now, on top of that, we got one other surprise, don't we, Jeff?
Yes, we do.
All right. Do you want to tell everybody what that other surprise is?
Yes, we are going to give away a lifetime access to My Training Centers.
Ooh, very nice.
To pick a name right now, I'm going to push it into my picker here that I have.
All right.
But because I'm not picking, it's automatically being done for me. And just 1 second here while it's doing its thing. Okay, congratulations to Brett Spryer.
Brett Spryer. All right.
Spryer. Just send an email to either myself
There
or
it is.
Derek. And you see the email addresses there on board. It's Derek@leathernecktech.com or it's Jeff@leathernecktech.com.
So a couple of things, guys and gals. MyTrainingCenters.com, the main offer, it's at MyTrainingCenters.com/main-offer. Make sure once you sign up that you join our private Facebook group at facebook.com/group/MyTrainingCentersCoaching. If you want to sign up for the Guard Your Devices free trial, that link is case sensitive. So I think Jeff pasted it into the chat window. Just click off of it because I know people have been having trouble getting to it unless they click off the chat window. So make sure you do that if you want to sign up for the free trial. Outside of that, if you've got anything at all that you want to talk to either Jeff or myself about, there's our email addresses. We invite you to do so. And with that, I'm going to bring this down so I can